All right, guys, we're gonna get going now. I'm happy to see all of your faces. I missed you guys when I was in Cancun a lot. Um, but just a couple things here that I wanted to go over before we get started talking about goals and how important they are to have them. I just wanted to say, if you guys don't have your name on the Success Club trip for next year, the cruise, definitely put your name on the wait list, guys. This was seriously the most incredible experience. I'm not kidding, like ever. Next to having a kid. It was just, getting married, the obvious things. It was, it was so awesome. Like, I can't even explain it. It was like you had to be there. That's why I'm saying, if your name isn't on the cruise, just go to ssbeachbody.com and just put your name on the wait list. It's free. Even if you don't think you can go, you never know. Things could be different for you in a whole year from now. And just put your name on it. But it was seriously so awesome. I just want to tell you just a little bit about it before, we get going into it. But they had like this huge, like welcoming ceremony at night, and they had like tons of like fireworks going off for us. And they had like all these decorations everywhere, and like awesome music and awesome food. And you got to meet like tons of just incredible coaches in the company. And really, it was just incredible walking through the resort. It was so pretty. It was so nice, like the palm trees everywhere and like the nice soft sandy beach. And, it was so sunny. And just walking through it, Nick and I were like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. I can't believe that we are literally here, for free, just for working for this company. Like, that's like the reward that we get. And, it's like, what other company does that, or what other business can you have that, reward you with that, with like a free, all-inclusive 5-day at a 5-star resort, in Cancun. I mean, it's seriously crazy. Nick was like, gosh, if I'm lucky, I get a pasta dinner once every couple months at my work. And honestly, like, it was just so awesome being surrounded by all of these people who literally think just like you and I. Like, they want so much more out of life. They're so upbeat. They're so positive. They're so inspiring. And, like, because it's true, they say like 95% of the people are just your average people, just kind of, bumping along the road through life, kind of going through the motions, just doing the daily things that kind of have to get done. Not really being, truly happy, 100% happy with what they're doing, but they're just doing it to get by. And then there's like, 5% of the population that, want so much more than that. They want to just really create, the best life that they can for themselves and their family. And it was like you took that 5% and literally just threw them on this resort all together. And just like the vibes and energy from being with all those people was like through the roof. It was so crazy. It was so awesome. Like, I can't even, like, I was seriously sad actually to leave everybody when they had the closing ceremony, and they did like the whole firework display, and we all had to say goodbye and go back to our room. I was packing up my bag, and I was like seriously getting teary-eyed and like so sad to leave everybody, to like come back. Not that I, didn't want to come back home, but, I had never felt that before, being surrounded by so many people, like that, like so optimistic and just inspiring. And so honestly, if you have not put your name on that list, I can't stress it enough. You need to put it on there. And we learned some really awesome things when we were there too. We heard that it hasn't been released yet, but they're going to release it at Summit this summer, July. But there's a brand new program that's going to be coming out by Shaun T, and it's called Size, and it's spelled CIZE. But it's basically like this awesome dance program for people who just aren't really that big into, working out. Like, I don't want to do the weights and the, legit cardio and all that. Like, this is for people who, love dancing and just learning rhythm. And it looked really cool. They did like a little example on the stage. Carl Deichler, the CEO, and Shaun T, they were doing their their moves and their whole little dance on the stage, and it was so funny. So I think that one's going to be really popular. And then they also came out with, they didn't come out with, sorry, they're going to be releasing this, like I said, at Summit. It's like a whole new recovery formula system for you to take during your workouts and after your workouts. And it reminded me of, part of it reminded me kind of like Gatorade, only way healthier for you with not any of that sugar and all that stuff. But that's going to be a big hit, I think, too. So a couple of those things coming out, which is really exciting to hear. And just to listen to, like, Carl Deichler talk about the direction of the company and, where we're going with this. And I mean, he just hit, the company just hit like $1 billion company, like 3 months back. And he has such huge plans for this company. I mean, when people talk about, this isn't going to be around that long, I'm telling you, obviously, things can happen. But I'm telling you right now, this company is going nowhere anytime soon. I mean, he wants to, turn this into, billions and billions and billions of dollars, he said. I mean, he really wants to spread this thing totally worldwide. Right now we're in US and Canada, but he wants to spread it all over through Europe and really just wants to take over the entire country and end the trend of obesity. And that's why he talked so much about how there are a lot of people in the company that, you guys obviously have seen and have heard the potential for, your income with this if you stick with it in the long run. But he talked a lot about how, some coaches, they hit that point and they make a lot of money and then they just stop and they don't do anything with it. And they're like, oh, like I'm making tons of money, like I'm done. He doesn't want that. He wants, our job is never done. Like it's his like mission to end the trend of obesity and get everybody healthy. That's the goal. And so that's why I stressed the other day when I did the Success Club board about how, our job is never done. It doesn't matter if you've signed up 3 people in a month and you're like, yes, I hit Success Club. Your goal should be really each month to try to change as many lives as you can so that we can work together as a team, like as a company, to end the trend of obesity that's literally taken over the US. So he's so driven and he's got, I mean, it's great to see someone that on top of things and so driven with it. So, I mean, it was just incredible. The other thing I wanted to say too is, I know Summit is coming up this summer. It's in Nashville, Tennessee. And, I know everybody has like different things going on and it's from the 16th to the 19th. But if you had already hit Success Club for your first 3 months, you can get a free ticket. If you're new to the team and you hit it your first 3 months, you can get a free ticket for the following year. But either way, honestly, guys, you really should do what you can to get to this event. I'm not kidding you. I mean, it really blows up your business and it changes the way that you look at things and changes the way that you want your business to grow and you want your business. I mean, this is your business, so it's not like a regular job, like you can take this wherever you want it to take you. So getting to these events, and I never really even understood how important it really was until I actually got myself to, my first Super Saturday, like 6 months back. And I was like, whoa, I left like so pumped up. And, that's on a much smaller level. That's like 300 people, and I started with that. And then, the Success Club trip came up and that was with 4,500 coaches. And that was like, I can't even believe like the feelings that you have inside of you. I mean, like talk about not even being able to sleep at night. I swear to God, I came home more tired, not even waking up at night with kids there than I did before I left because I was just like so pumped up all night. I really could not sleep. I think I got like 5 hours every single night. And no, it was not because of the drinks. It was because I was so pumped up. And so Summit is going to have like 30,000 people there this year. So I can't even imagine, what that is going to be like. So really, guys, just try your best to get there. Next year when I'm, making more money, I'm going to just, get a house and I'll just pay for the whole house and everyone can just fly out there and like use the house. This year was tough because it was kind of last minute and, I couldn't really get it, but just try to do what you can to get out there to it. It's just a couple days. Let me just see here. Oh, and then one more thing. If you haven't read the Slight Edge book by Jeff Olson, you have to get this book. Listen to it on audio if you want. Get it on your Kindle, like order it on Amazon, whatever you want to do. But honestly, this book, I can't even stress it enough. Like I'm told my parents that they needed to listen to it. I told my mom, I'm like, listen, you're on school vacation this week. Instead of sitting around watching Judge Judy and watching the Weather Channel, please, I want you and Dad to just listen to the Slight Edge in the background and just, at least improve the way that you're thinking because they're not that healthy, So at least do something to improve like the quality of your life, But it has changed every single area in my life. Like for me and Nick, we both read it. The top coach in the company, Melanie Mitro, when she was on the panel up there at the Success Club trip on the stage, and they asked her, what is your must for having success in this business? And she said, get The Slight Edge and read that book. It changed my life. And it is true. I'm not kidding. Like, it changed like the way that my relationships, the way I handle situations, just the way I think about things. It's totally different. So definitely get that and get going on that. You don't need to read like a ton every day. Like, I seriously only set aside 10 minutes every night. That's all I do. I just do 10 minutes in bed before I go to sleep, and that's it. But you learn so much from reading that, like so much about really like making yourself a better person. And it just like kind of trickles out into all areas of your life. So definitely get that. All right. I think that's it for all the items. So what we're going to talk about tonight are setting goals in this business. And it's really important, you know, that you have direction when you're running this business and you know where you want to go with it. Because if you don't, then you're kind of just going to be kind of hanging out there in limbo, not really knowing like where you're headed. And then most likely you're not going to get there. So you need to have concrete goals for what you want to accomplish. You know, it's good to have like your daily tasks that you do for the business. Like, those are good. Those are kind of more routine things. But I'm talking like you need like specific, concrete, vivid goals of what you want out of this. And then you need to have them written down. You know, that's the most important thing. You actually need to say them. You need to write them down, and you need to be staring at them like literally every single day and reading them to yourself and out loud at least 2 to 3 times a day. You know, right now I have my goals written down. I have like my screensaver actually on my computer is all my goals, and it has, you know, a couple pictures and just like some words and stuff, but I'm looking at it every single day. So that way, I mean, you're more likely of making these things happen if you have specific goals. So you need to have them, you need to have them written down, and then you need to most importantly is to have a deadline of when you want to achieve these things. So, I mean, everybody comes into this business for different reasons. I mean, you don't need, I mean, I'm going crazy balls to the wall here, all right, straight to the top. And if you want to go crazy balls to the wall with me to the top, you can hop on and you can come with me. But you by no means have to be that way. I mean, there are people who are in this just to help hold them accountable so that they can maintain a healthy lifestyle. And that's fine. So your goal should be, you know, more importantly, what are you going to do and continue to do every single day to maintain that healthy lifestyle? How much weight, if you're looking to lose weight, how much weight are you looking to lose? And when are you looking to lose it by? What are you going to do to get there? Other people just join because they want to be part of the team atmosphere, because they love being on teams and they want to have their own team one day. So what are you going to do to grow your own team? Things like that. So it doesn't need to be like, I'm in this because I want to make $500,000 a year and, you know, I want to do all these crazy things. I mean, it can be just basic things. Everybody does different things. And now that I was thinking about it, what was so awesome about going on the Success Club trip was when they put the top 10 coaches, and I'm not saying any of you want to be top 10 coaches, but my point is that when they had the top 10 coaches up sitting in the chairs up on stage for all of us to look at, I cannot even tell you how different every single person up there was. I mean, oh my gosh, there was one girl that had tattoos all up and down her body. You know, there was one girl who was like a single mom. You know, there was another girl who was like the really, really organized, had everything, you know, in place. There was another one who was like a complete cluster F, if you know what I mean, and has no organization at all whatsoever. There were people up there who had been coaching for 4 or 5 years, and there are people up there, a couple of coaches who had only been coaching for 2 years. So my point is that it doesn't matter like who you are or where you came from or anything like that, what your background was, like anything that's happened in the past, that, you know, anybody can make it in this business if you want to. So I thought that was really cool to see that, because you kind of get in your, you know, your mind. I mean, for me, I hadn't seen any of the top 10 coaches. So when I think of Melanie Mitchell, which I've seen her, she's like this wicked, like organized, like everything in place. You know, you automatically kind of assume, oh, they're all super duper organized, and they're, you know, she was a teacher before, so it's like, oh, she's got her stuff in gear. Like totally opposite. So it really does not matter, guys. You know, any of that, what you look like, what you do for a living, what you've done. If you want it, you can go for it. If you want to have success in this, like, it can totally happen. So you need to envision where you want to be in this company, what you want out of it. And then you need to, I got to shut off this. I'm sorry. I forgot to X out of Facebook. Just 1 second. The dinging is going to drive me crazy. Yeah. And then you need to act on it, more importantly, because if you just say to yourself all the time, like, oh, I want this, or, you know, I hope this happens, then it just ends up becoming just wishful thinking. Nothing ends up happening. That's just, you know, that's just the way it works. So when we hang up tonight, I want you guys all to just think about like specific goals, and I can help you with them if you want. You know, write them down, make them specific, give it a deadline, look at it every single day. You know, just kind of keep it up front and in your face. And it's going to be a process. You know, the plan that you have is not going to be the plan that's going to get you to your end, you know, goal, what you want. But the point is that it is a plan, and it's a starting point, and that's all it is. You know, your plan is going to change as you grow in the business. So if you think of it like when you learn to walk, or babies when they learn to walk, or anything, like when you learn to read, you don't just all of a sudden just start walking, or you don't just all of a sudden just start reading. You know, it's a series of, you know, smaller things that happen gradually over time that eventually lead you up to that point. And it's just like this in this business and with anything else in life. So, I mean, you guys can totally make your dreams come true. Really, all dreams are just, you know, you can make them come true by having the deadlines. I mean, I can't stress enough how important the deadlines are. You can have a dream board. That's what people call it. A lot of people have it. It's a dream board. And what this is they think about the things that they want when they're in this business. And they literally just like cut out pictures that remind them of the things, or they write words and they just paste them on a board and they have it up somewhere in their house so that they're looking at it all the time. You want to be really specific about, you know, what your goals are going to be, like really specific, why you want them and when you want them to happen and how you're going to do it. And it's all about, you know, baby steps along the way. I was reading something really interesting in a book the other day, but it was talking all about deadlines. And it was saying that deadlines are so important because it's been proven that 80% of everything you do tends to get done in the last 20% of the time available. So if you want to think about, for example, the push, obviously, if you have a deadline, it doesn't mean just because there's a deadline, like, oh, I'm going to make it happen. But it means that if you have a deadline, at least your chances are significantly increased, you know? And if you look at that whole push thing that we did with people trying to hit diamond, obviously not every single person, you know, didn't hit, and that's fine. You're going to keep pushing. But if you look at, you know, a lot of the ones that did, when did they lock it in? You know, the last day or two before. That's why deadlines are so important. You know, the problem is that if you never create a deadline, that last 20% that I was just talking about never ever shows up. And then you end up just living in the 80% all the time, just saying like, oh, someday, or one day, or I hope. And it never ends up, nothing ever ends up getting done. Moving on to the next page, guys. Lots of notes here for you. I was all fired up on my trip. So make sure that you have the goals and you're looking at them every single day. You're reading them every single day. You need to be constantly reminding your brain of where you're heading and where you want to go. Otherwise, your subconscious will automatically take you and drift you totally off the path, and then you're going to lose your way. So the subconscious is a really, really powerful thing. So if you read your goals out loud to yourself at least 2 to 3 times a day, you'll be training your brain to think that way. There was also a lot of research done, which I thought this was pretty interesting. There was a lot of research done that showed that by the time you enter first grade, you've already heard 40,000 times the word no. That's how many times you've heard the word no by the time you've hit first grade. So it's like innate. Your natural instinct when you go to think that you can do something is, yeah, I don't really know if I can do that. You know, it just happens. Like your subconscious just automatically thinks that, like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Oh, that's probably not going to happen. And so we need to train our brain to think the opposite way. And that's why if you have these things written down and you surround yourself with all of your yeses, it's much more likely for you to get there and make it happen. Because it is hard for the amount of times that you heard no versus yes. I mean, that was a crazy amount. I couldn't believe that when I heard that statistic. I can get all the information about the exact statistic if anybody wants it, because I know Janet's probably over there like thinking about all the research. She's the school psychologist, so just watch out, guys. Yeah. So you got to start with a plan. And like I said, it's not going to be the same plan that's going to get you to where you want to be. But the point is to at least start, do something so that at least you can make like a step in the right direction here. Let me just check over my notes here. Yeah, so anyways, so when you have your plan, this is another reason why. If you have a plan, then you at least have something to jump to and go towards. Rather than like, if think about like, like a frog sitting on a lily pad, for example. If it doesn't have anything to jump to, it's going to sit there on the lily pad like forever. It's not going to go anywhere. So that's like kind of like us in this business. If we don't have a plan or some place to go next, we're never going to take that leap. So the whole point is that we don't want to stay sitting on that same lily pad. Like we want to jump to the next one. And then we want to have the next little plan in place so that we can jump to the next lily pad, so that we're constantly jumping and constantly improving things of the direction of where we want to go in this business. And this is kind of something I learned in the Slight Edge, but it's true. Every little thing that you do every day is either working you more closely to your dream, or it's getting somebody else closer to their dream. And so that kind of like, for some reason, that like really like hit home to me. And I know like my husband and stuff, like ever since I've been doing this, like he's just like, he loves this, and he loves like what it's done like for our whole family, just in all ways. And so, he doesn't have that in his job, obviously, because when he goes to work, I mean, he's not creating a dream for himself. My God, he's creating this other guy's dream to come true. So you really want to think about that. And then this quote, I just love this quote. I found this the other day, but this was a good one. So you guys should write this down. But be not afraid of going slowly. Be afraid only of standing still. And so the point is that it doesn't matter how fast or slow you go in anything you do. The whole point is that at least you're moving, like you're going. You're not doing nothing. And I like to use this example too. If you needed to go out in the yard and cut down, or the forest and cut down a tree, you would not be able to cut down this tree with one swing of the axe, right? You'd have to take one swing at a time. And you know what? You can go out there and you can chop the tree down as fast as you want and maybe get it cut down, in 2 years. Or you can take your time and go slower and hit it and like cut it down in like 4 years, 5 years. But the whole point is that if you keep swinging the axe over and over and over again, guys, the tree is going to fall down. So that's important to remember. It's the slow and steady, wins the race. This isn't about getting from point A to point B as fast as possible. It's just about doing something small every single day and seeing the long-term vision of it. And I think I've covered all that, but I wanted to kind of talk to you guys and just, share a little bit of my goals with you, because I know a lot of you are new and you haven't like heard my goals yet or anything like that. But one key thing that I wanted to tell you about goals is this. If it doesn't scare you at all in any way to tell somebody your goal, or make you even nervous to say out loud, you should shoot a little bit higher. Obviously, you might have, more easy, simple goals. Like, for example, one of mine this whole year was to read one personal development book a month. So, I mean, obviously that's not scary. It's just, routine. Reading 10 minutes every single night for the entire month. But I want to just give you like an example. When I started out this year and I sat down with, Nick, my husband, and I was making my goals out, and I was like, all right, this is it. I'm like, because honestly, I mean, for me, I really don't care if I fail. If I say I want to do something at a point in time, and I know it sounds crazy, but if I don't get there, it doesn't bother me, because I know I will eventually get there. It just won't be at that exact moment, but it will happen. So honestly, I don't get down when I don't hit things by deadline. So I said to Nick, all right, this is it. I want to be the top 10 coach this year in the company. And I know it sounds nuts, but that's what I said. And he's like, I don't know, Kathy, that's a little, that's a little much. I think maybe you should shoot for top 100. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, top 100. I'm like, all right. So I'm thinking, all right, top 100. And then when the first report came out for the month in January, I was number 97. So I knew right there that was not a high enough goal. And I was like, I should have never listened to you. And so but I still didn't want to say top 10 because, I was like, maybe that is kind of crazy. But I have these bi-weekly calls with Alex Bunton, who's the East Region leader. And she was like, so Kathy, tell me, what are your year-end goals? And, she asked me all about rank and all that stuff. And I didn't tell her. I lied actually to her and said, yeah, I really want to finish like top 50, maybe top 30 if I'm really pushing this year. She's like, oh, that's great. Then a couple weeks went by and I was just like, this is ridiculous. That's not what I want. Like, I'm totally lying. Like, I want top 10. Like, who cares if it happens or not? But that's what I want. And so she started to ask me about the goals again. And I was like, I have to be honest. Like, I totally lied. And I said, and I know this is going to sound crazy. I'm like, but I said, I want to shoot for top 10 coach this year. And she was just like, that's totally doable. You can do it. But my point is that I got it out there at least. And believe me, it scared the crap out of me to say that because now like the pressure's on. Like the more you verbalize it to people, like, now people are watching you like, oh, well, she wants top 10. Let's see what she can do. And now I've told like so many people that when they ask me and, it sounds crazy, but that was an example of a scary goal that I had. You should definitely have income goals. Like I said, some of you might just want to make a couple $100 a month and that's fine, but you definitely should have like some kind of an income goal so that it's worth your time for you doing this. Because let's just face it, this is your time that you're spending on this. So it's your business. Like no one's going to tell you what to do or how to run it. It's all on you, but you really should have like some sense of how much income do you want to make either weekly or monthly, and you should write it down. Like right now for me, I'll hit 10 months of being a coach on this Saturday. And, what I make now, like exceeds what I was making teaching, and I had been teaching for 8 years at the time, with my master's degree. So, it was a good amount of money that I gave up when I stopped teaching. And honestly, like, that's why like the income isn't just about the income though. It's like what it's done for our family right now with what I've been able to bring in and support the family with. Guys, we were in such a crappy situation. We're finally just pulling out of it. But when I, got rid of teaching and stayed at home with the kids, I took a huge dent. That's a lot for, just, one person to try to carry a family and do the mortgage and all this stuff. And it hit a point where it was like, you're going to go back to work. There's just no way around it. And this now opportunity with me being in this business and running this has gotten me to a point where now, like, I will never have to go back, and I don't have to worry about that. And I had that stress every single day when I was home with the kids of being like, oh my gosh, like, am I really going to have to leave the kids? Like, basically just living in a total world of denial. Like some kind of miraculous thing was going to like show up at my front door. Like somehow we were going to like be able to pay off the debt. And like, it's like, that's not going to happen. And so that's why I'm so happy that this opportunity came my way, because we would be screwed right now without it. Like definitely would probably be going back to work next year. Like it would just be hell. And so it's what it's done for like the family that's been just so crazy and just so awesome. Trying to think here. Another thing that I had too on there was, I wanted to speak at a Super Saturday event that they had, which is kind of happening this Saturday, which I didn't even know about till this morning, how they, they want me to be, on the, Star Diamond panel with, 7 other Star Diamond coaches. But I'm like, oh my gosh, like, shoot, this is really happening. At least I'm with 7 other people and not like completely alone up there telling my story. But just these little things like this that you want, you should definitely write them down. And another goal for mine too this year was, I want you guys to really succeed at this business. Like, like really succeed. I want like life-changing things for you and your family, because that makes me feel good. And that's what this is all about, is changing lives. And so one of my goals on here was to, advance 2 of my coaches on the team to 2-star diamond coach, real like strong, solid leaders. And you know, I want that for you guys. I want you to be able to really see, you know, how this can change your life in so many different ways. And so, you know, I'm going to be working so closely with all of you and be pushing you. Who knows? Maybe we'll have like 5 2-star diamond coaches. I mean, God only knows. The year, we have so much more time left in the year. But I have high goals for you guys, and I know you guys are hard workers, so it'll be great. And then the other thing that I had is Success Club 10. Like, it should just be, that should just be a definite. I mean, you guys should write that thing down. It shouldn't just be like, you know, like, I hope I hit Success Club, you know, I'm going to try my best. You know, maybe it'll happen by the end of the month. It should be like, no, Success Club 10 every single month, like, bottom line, like, it's got to happen. You know, especially too now at this point, if you hit Success Club 10, that means that you'll be able to get next month the free Success Club leads from Beachbody. So that's all instant commission, free commissions, you know, all in your pocket. And it's going to be like a lot more than it was before when you only had to hit Success Club 5, because not everybody's going to hit Success Club 10. So that means there's less coaches hitting it. So more money, you know, and more leads get assigned to those people. But it should definitely be written down for you guys. Like, it should just, and I know I say this every time, but it really should be non-negotiable. Like, hitting Success Club in this business should be just something that you're going to get done every single month. If you tell yourself, you know, I'm really busy, like, I just can't get it done, like, I'll shoot for it next month, your brain automatically works against you. It does. It starts lining up all these different things to kind of create why you don't have time to do this. Whereas if you sit there and you tell yourself, like, oh my gosh, there's 9 days left in the month, like, I have to hit Success Club, I'm going to hit it, like, I got to get it done, like, I'll get it done, doesn't matter how busy I am, I'm going to get it done. Then the events in your life kind of rearrange themselves so that things start to fall in place, and your brain starts thinking like it's going to happen. And it's funny, but that's how it works. And things start to fall into place, and then you can get it done. For example, when I had to go on this trip to Success Club, the thing that they said was, if you want to get pictures taken with the celebrity trainers, you have to hit Success Club 10 by April 11th of the month. Only coaches who hit it then will be able to take those pictures. And so I didn't say, you know, like, oh, I hope I already did a workout with Autumn when I was in, you know, went to the leadership in January, like, no big deal. I hope I get it. I said, that's it. Like, it's happening. I think I even told Lauren, like, I was like, I'm hitting it Saturday. I'm hitting it on the weekend. Like, it's getting done. And then it just happens. Like, your mind is seriously so powerful. It really is. So what you're thinking, you know, whether it's I can't do it or I can do it, things in your life are going to start to happen that kind of create that to make it come true. But definitely that should be on there. Those are just, you know, more people's lives that you're changing, more people's lives that you're, you know, connecting to. And all it boils down to is just talking to that many more people. So, I mean, if you're reaching out to 2 people every day, you know, reach out to 5 people every day or 10 people every day. Just increase the odds, you know, for, you know, all those no's that you get, you know, you're going to be more likely to get a yes, you know, it's going to come around. And I know I've said it before, but at this point, because I've gone through so many people, you know, I have to reach out to like 100 people before I can get like 3 people to commit. So think of it that way. That's why I kind of always use that guideline of, you know, reaching out to 10 people every day if you can. You really don't want to save it all to like the weekend or, you know, like a Sunday or something like that, because really this whole business is all about like getting the ball rolling. It's all about building momentum, which is why it's important that even if you only have 5 minutes one day, just connect and send out a message to, you know, to 5 or 10 new people. You can copy and paste the same thing. It literally takes like 3 minutes to do that. But doing that every day, like, gets the momentum going. And then, you know, you won't have people maybe even respond to you right away, but then after a few days, all of a sudden people start coming around, and then the ball starts going and rolling. And then it goes faster and faster and faster. And the next thing you know, you're like on fire. And then like, it doesn't stop. Like, it just keeps carrying over into the next month and the next month and the next month. Whereas if you don't do anything and then try to build momentum on the weekend, it kind of doesn't happen. Like, you know, like momentum isn't built that way. So just do like a little bit at a time. And let me see here. I think I seriously covered everything. So if you guys have any questions about anything specific to me about just anything, like, now's your chance, and you can unmute yourself and, you know, share, because if you have a question, I'm sure there are other people on here that have the same question. Jesse, I'm in next year. A little too pregnant. I know. You have a baby brewing. Does anybody have anything?
I have a question, Kathy.
Oh, good.
All right. When I'm signing people up, like, so I have someone signed up and she's got people that want to sign up with her, but she doesn't necessarily want to be an active coach. It's just that she's posting, she did the 21-day fix, blah, 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 and people are interested. Do I benefit more from her, like teaching her how to sign people up? Or do I benefit by signing them up myself?
Yeah, no, I would definitely try to get her to sign them up, because that's what this business is all about, is like getting, you know, team leaders and leaders on the team. And even though she doesn't say now that she wants to be an active coach, she might hold on, I'm just going to be even if she doesn't want to do it now, she might, after she starts signing up people, you know, see the advantage of it and see like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I would kind of present it to her and say like, listen, you can get like your Shakeology covered. If you have people interested, like I'll show you how to do it. It takes like 2 seconds to send the link to somebody. And then she might hit a point where she's like, oh my gosh, like I can make money off of this. This is actually easy for me, because she might not want to actively go out right now and do what we're doing. But, you know, she could be thinking, hey, if I have people reaching out to me, this is really good. And then, you know, that's another team builder. Because honestly, you want to try to, I mean, challenge packs are good to sell. You want, you know, definitely, you know, want to get people into challenge groups and things like that. But one of the key components to really growing this is getting other leaders below you to grow themselves. So honestly, like for all of you, your goal each month, and you should write this down, is to find like one active coach every month. And just put that down there, like one active coach every single month. You know, I would talk to her and ask her. I mean, if she's totally like, I don't want to do it, then obviously, like, you know, sign them up under you. But I would start off by kind of presenting it to her like that, because you never know. This could be another, you know, this could be your next rock star. You never know. You never know who you're going to get. You never know who's going to come on and all of a sudden just, you know, take off. So I would approach it that way. Hopefully that helped. Does anybody have anything else? No. Oh, is Janet trying to talk? Oh, shoot, I can't hear you. Oh, no. Wait, you can type it in the chat box, though. I saw your mouth move, but I'm like, oh, no. Maybe on your screen on the bottom left, there's a little, like, let me try to see if maybe I can unmute you and see if that'll help. Hold on. Oh, no, you are unmuted. There should be, like, a little button on your bottom left that you could click for audio. But if not, you can just type it into the chat. I know these things are confusing, trust me. Even now when I send over the link and I'm starting it up, like, you know, at the beginning, like people can't even hear me. And it's like, I know, how many times have I done this? And I still shut it down, start it back up again. I'm just waiting, giving Janet a little bit time to write it down. Or are you not going to do it now? No question now. No question from Janet now. She's like, forget it. I couldn't say it. I'm not going to bother typing it. Too long.
I have a question, Kathy.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. I have a lot of coaches that I'm signing up that just want to be discount coaches. What do you personally do to try to motivate them to get to Emerald?
I usually tell, like, you know, it's kind of hard because, like, some people, they say they want to do it, but then they don't. But usually what I do is once I sign, like, somebody up as a discount coach, and then they get the products and they start trying it and they, you know, they're liking it, you know, then I come across to them and I'll just say to them, hey, like, are you interested at all in getting, you know, your Shakeology paid for, like covered? And if they say like, oh yeah, how do I do that? Then that's when I'll kind of tell them a little bit about it and, you know, just say, okay, all you need to do is just find 2 to 3 friends a month. I can give you, you know, you can talk about it at work if you know, have a job, you know, that you go out of the house with, or, you know, if you're staying at home, then I'll give them my scripts and stuff like that just to kind of get them started and say like, here, just, start out by just messaging like some of your friends, like message your, friends, like 3 a night or three to 5 new ones a night. And anybody that you get that's interested, let me know. And then I can just show you how to sign them up. A lot of them, like, a lot of times, like no one does, anything at the beginning because they're kind of just like, they're not like really that confident, you know what I mean, in themselves. And I feel like a lot of people, struggle, I feel like, because they think that they need to get in like this tip top shape first before they start like bringing on people, when really it's just the opposite. People want to see you on your journey and see that it's working. They don't want like some like fit person right off the bat. They want to see you, working day to day and getting there. And so, even if they don't come around now, I mean, like, you never know. I mean, there's people on the team here that, have been drinking like Shakeology for like months, and then like all of a sudden, decided that they wanted to try it. I also have other people on the team who have literally, they're not active, but they've been drinking Shakeology for like almost literally since the day I started this, and they are like walking infomercials to people, but yet they don't sign up anybody. So like literally, like I have people on the team that are like swear by it, and they'll like post about it on Facebook all the time, like come to the light, Shakeology, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I'm like, are you sure you don't want to like, I mean, you can make like a little bit of money, get your at least cost covered, and no. So it's kind of just like a waiting game, with people. I mean, you can share how well you've done, and like, you can share, I mean, if they're looking to make money, I mean, you can share what you've made with them to kind of, to motivate them and stuff. I mean, I know that works for me a lot. So you could try that too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem. Anybody have anything else? Whoops, I just unmuted everybody. So that's it pretty much, I guess. And I hope you guys are going to get yourself to a Super Saturday. I know we got birthdays and like babies and all this other stuff coming up, so not everybody can make it. But if you are around and you're not really sure, what you want to do on a Saturday, you can just come on over to Super Saturday. The one I'm going to is up in Boston, and I know like some of the people on the team are going to that. But if you don't live in the area, definitely find one in your area and get to one, because it's so awesome. That was like my first big, like I said, like event that got me pumped up. And I haven't missed one since. So thank you guys all for being here. And like I said, I missed you guys all last week when I left. And thanks to you guys for keeping the team running so smoothly. And, there was so much participation, like on the group page. I was like, oh, good. Thank goodness. It's all under control. They've got this totally under control. So I was really impressed. I'm not going to lie. I was nervous to leave everybody. I'm like, oh, shoot, what am I going to do? What are they going to do? And then everybody just kind of like stepped up to the plate and worked together. So you guys are awesome. So thanks for being here, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye, guys.